Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of The Grave, the podcast where I talk to friends, family, and even strangers about their paranormal experiences. After a bit of a longer hiatus than originally intended, we are back with new episodes. Just some quick housekeeping before we get into this one. This is episode 7 of season 4, and we aim to get 10 episodes per season, so we have 3 more left after this. And I really am trying to knock the rest of these out so there are no more breaks between episodes, but with that said, I simply cannot guarantee that at the moment, for no other reason than a hectic personal life and scheduling conflicts. So as I've been doing, if I'm going to miss a week, I will let you know, and also let you know when to expect the next episode. But with that said, jumping right into today's episode, I chat with Ryan and his brother Robert. I met Ryan on Instagram, and we both share a love for horror films, so when he mentioned that he and his brother had some paranormal experiences, I could not pass up the opportunity to hear what he had to say. And I think we agree on nearly all horror films, so he's just a nice dude, and go give him a follow if you get the chance. This was also the first time having 2 people on at once, so in this episode, Ryan's brother Robert starts off the conversation with his stories from their childhood home, and then we move on to Ryan and his experiences, although they are both obviously present the whole time. Anywho, I think that's enough exposition for one intro, so without further ado, I present to you Ryan and Robert's stories.
So it was a family house. It was built in the 1800s. It was heavily remodeled multiple times. So the house has a lot of history. If you're a Harry Potter fan, imagine the Weasley's house. There's nooks and crannies everywhere.
Very whimsical, yeah.
Yeah. It's an old house in the 1800s. There's a lot of history. The first story I'm going to tell you actually found out later that some of the information I saw was actually verified.
Oh, nice.
By a lady that was over 100 years old. It was actually my friend's great-grandmother, so it was actually pretty surprising. I'd say I was probably about 16 years old, and the way this house was built, initially there was a central hallway from the front door to the rear door. Well, that was done away with, and they added on more rooms, and so you'd have to walk through my bedroom to get to Ryan's bedroom. I was asleep. Something woke me up, and I happened to look over next to my dresser, and I saw a young girl standing there wearing an old-fashioned dress, probably late 1800s, early 1900s style, lace, light-colored dress. She had dark hair, like really dark hair.
Okay.
It was really striking contrast.
Wow.
Got a good look at her. I blinked, and then she was gone. I never saw her again, but I got a really good look at her. I could describe her. And I was talking to my buddy about it, and he'd mentioned it to his grandmother because she knew people that lived in that house way before.
Right.
And like I said, she was over 100 years old, and she actually told him, she said, yeah, there was a young girl that died in that house from a fever, and if I remember correctly, she had dark hair.
Wow.
So
okay,
that was interesting.
Yeah, for sure. Just a quick question before we move on. When she appeared, was she transparent, or was she kind of more fully fleshed out human figure?
I mean, if I didn't know any better, I would think somebody was really standing there.
Interesting.
She was fully fleshed out.
Wow. Okay, that's pretty wild. And like, did she acknowledge you at all, or was she kind of just like a split second type of?
It was just like a split second. I looked at her. It's been a long time now, but I mean, her face was blank, like no expression.
Oh, okay. Wow.
And I don't think it was malicious, anything like that.
Okay.
But yeah, just to have the verification, from somebody that's like, yeah, I remember these details.
Yeah, kind of confirming that visual. Yeah, that's pretty wild.
Right.
And that's the only time you saw her, you said?
Yeah, that's the only time I saw her.
Okay.
So same scenario, same bedroom. I woke up another time and I saw a man standing in the corner of the room. He was standing in the corner of the room, and these houses back then, you got to understand, they didn't have closets built into them like they do today. And so at some point, our bedrooms had closets built onto them. Well, the way they were built, it created a wall. What I saw was when I woke up, there was a man standing there peeking around the wall at me. I could see his arm and his hand touching the wall. And when I made eye contact, he smiled at me.
Oh, Jesus.
And then he ducked back behind the wall really quick.
That's so scary. Oh,
yeah. and I could see his teeth, like, shining.
And you screamed and woke me up.
I know you remember
this. I don't even know if I was asleep, but yeah.
I know you remember this.
I was like, what? And
that's nuts.
Well,
he was peeking around the corner at you?
Yeah, man. Like, he's leaned out looking at me. I could see his arm and his hand on the wall as he's leaned out looking. And when he made eye contact with me, he smiled.
Oh, man.
So this guy had short hair, stubble beard. Yeah, I mean, it was, I don't know.
Oh, my God.
And so I screamed for him. I was like, hey, there's somebody in my room. Well, he busts through the door exactly where this guy would have been standing. So obviously there was no one there. Yeah.
Wow.
I remember now. I wasn't asleep, and I heard you screaming, and I was like, what? I was probably watching TV or something, and jumped up.
That is crazy. Oh, my God. So hold on. I just want to clarify a few things. So again, was he again very much like human, like wasn't transparent, very similar to the girl, kind of just like a full body?
Yes, fully fleshed out.
Wow. And he was basically like acknowledging you, like he saw you, you saw him, and he was
oh
like,
yeah,
I'm here, man.
Oh yeah.
Holy crap.
It was like a Joker smile. It was very creepy.
Oh my God.
We just had multiple froggers. We didn't really have any guests.
Just a bunch of people running through your house.
Yeah, they were living in the attic.
Was there any historical verification similar to the girl with who that might have been, or?
No, I asked the same guy, because this was maybe a year or two later. I asked him about that, and she had no recollection of any man dying in the house. But the house being built in the 1800s, it's entirely possible.
Yeah, for sure. And is that the only time you saw that man as well?
I only saw him once also.
Thank God. That would be, seeing him again wouldn't be great.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Oh my God. I can't even imagine like that.
Oh yeah.
I hear a lot of stuff doing this podcast, but that gave me like full body chills. That's so scary.
It was very unnerving.
Yeah.
I'd never seen him that scared in my life. When I went in there, I was like, oh my God, like you saw something for real, dude. Because I'd never seen him that scared ever.
Yeah, I can imagine that would be pretty terrifying. That's wild.
Luckily, I never saw anything like that.
And just to wrap this one up, when did he disappear back behind the corner, and then Ryan opened the door, and that's when he was gone?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
So with the girl, I blinked and she was gone. With this guy, he smiled and then he just dug back behind the wall, and that was it.
Oh God. That is nuts.
and again, I don't know. I didn't feel anything malicious, but the smile.
That smile, though, that's
unnerving.
Yeah, that sounds malicious.
Yeah,
that says it all.
Very
right there.
unnerving. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Jeez.
I think I'm the only person that actually saw anything in the house.
Mm.
And my dad, I think Ryan and I were kids. My dad was doing some work in the house. This was like 5 o'clock in the morning. He was up making coffee, and he had a large sheet of plastic across this open space between the living room and the dining room. And he had his back to it when he was making his coffee, and he heard the plastic rustle. It was like a plastic drop sheet, and it sounded like somebody walked through the plastic. Well, when he turned around, there was no one there, and kind of weirded him out. So he went and checked on everybody. He said Ryan was in the bed, I was in bed, my mom was in the bed, and even the dog was asleep.
I thought he saw it lift up to the size of a person.
Maybe he did. I don't remember him saying that.
That's what I remember.
You might remember that. Yeah.
That's what I wrote down right here. But like,
oh my God, that's so.
And our dad was
he's
very
a skeptic.
skeptical.
He's a skeptic.
He's very skeptic. Like he was like I can't explain that. I can't explain it.
It was kind of like the horror films, like you see like the sheet kind of rise up from like
the
bed, like it was a figure underneath it.
That's what I remember was him, because that's what I wrote down right here, was that he said it lifted up to the size of a person, and then like they walked through and then it fell back down, and the doors were closed to the outside and everything. Like,
yeah, it wasn't any wind or crosswind or anything.
It freaked him out. He was like, but because he couldn't explain it. He's a skeptic. He was like, there's what.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's good that stuff happens to skeptics, because it gives them pause.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's nuts. That's so crazy. All right, Robert, real quick, just because you had mentioned that you were the only person to experience, one of the only people to experience things in the house. Do you think of a reason why, like, you're either sensitive to it or, play with a Ouija board, or was there any reason you could think of that it might have, you might be why you're the guy?
No, no clue. Ryan, I'll tell you, I'm not a Ouija board kind of guy.
Okay.
I think some people are just a little bit more sensitive to spirits.
Hmm.
I'll tell you right now, my wife is a skeptic. We've talked about it. She's like, I've never seen one, so I don't believe it. And
Right.
that's the thing. People either believe in ghosts or they don't believe in ghosts.
Yep.
I've seen a lot of people die, unfortunately, and I've seen things I can't explain.
Right.
Like I wrote down one thing. This is more modern, so.
He says he's seen a lot of people. He's seen a lot of people die. He means it because he was a first responder. He was a firefighter
Yes. Yeah.
for many years. Yeah.
Yeah. That was my previous career. So one night I was there when a guy was seriously injured, and when he took his last breath, I swear, and it's going to sound crazy, I saw something leave his body.
Like a mist, or
It was almost like a bit of light or something, and it could have just been a reflection on the side of the interstate. I don't know. But if you believe in heaven or hell, regardless, I saw something, and that was so weird.
yeah.
And I talked to people about it later, and actually there were two guys that were killed here in the line of duty in this county. They were in an explosion, and when both of them died, people on the scene swore they saw the exact same thing from those guys.
Oh, really? Just like a glimmer of light or something?
Yeah, around the time that they both, when they landed on the ground.
Interesting.
So I don't know. Like I said, I've seen a lot of weird things. Had a lot of weird things happen to me.
Apparently, yeah.
Yeah.
Probably more than most people would want to have to deal with. That's crazy, man. Yeah, and I appreciate that kind of little last tidbit about kind of passing away, because that's a part of one of the bigger reasons I do this podcast, is to obviously figure out, or attempt to figure out life after death. And I think the more stories we hear, whether it's something like that or a creepy man showing up in your bedroom, I think there's it gives people at least some hope that there is life after. So
Right.
Very, very cool to hear that.
Robert, you want to talk about?
Our cousin.
Yeah, and then you saw it in the back seat.
Oh my God, dude. Yeah.
Guys, are you kidding me right now? This sounds
No, dude.
Ryan.
Our
Okay.
cousin was one of our best friends,
Oh man.
and he died in a car wreck. And
2003.
in 2003, and Robert
Yeah.
was a teenager, and he was driving past that place, and he
So-
saw something.
So he was working late one night and was driving home really tired, and either he fell asleep or the other vehicle fell asleep, but he ended up getting a head-on collision, and subsequently he died later at the hospital in Atlanta. We were very close to him, like very, very close, almost like brothers. And I remember several times stopping by there at the scene and just kind of, standing there for a while. I was coming home late one night, and dark, like there was no moon, no stars, anything. And I saw a dark figure, and this is going to sound absolutely nuts, kneeling right there where his car came to a rest. And I couldn't make out what it was. I thought at first it was like a large dog or something. When I got almost to it, I didn't see it. Like it almost disappeared.
Huh.
And I was like, and I got this cold chill. I mean, just doing it. Getting it, feeling it right now, talking about it.
You forgot about it, yeah. I remember.
Yeah, man. Okay. And so the hair on the back of my neck stood up, and I could feel like something wasn't right. But when I looked in the rearview mirror, I could see where it looked like something sitting in the back seat of my car.
Jeez. Like a humanoid figure?
Dude, I am not sure. It was something.
Okay.
I be honest with you, I'd forgotten about this story until Ryan brought it up. But I remember we talked about it a lot. I couldn't tell you if it was a humanoid figure or not, but it was definitely something.
Did it carry any like feeling to it? Did it feel ominous? Did it feel, kind of benign? Like what?
I got in a cold sweat and the hair on the back of my neck stood up, man. Like it was an awful feeling.
Okay. Oh, good.
and it rode with me about a mile.
Oh my God! So it's just stayed there, and you just kept driving.
Yeah, and then eventually I looked again and I didn't see it, and it left at some point. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do.
Did you try and talk to it at all, or was it just like we're gonna just?
I was just
hopefully
trying to
nothing
ignore
happens. Nothing's there.
That's usually what I did too, is just ignore stuff like that. I was
I was
pretend
just
like it
trying to
didn't
ignore
happen.
Yeah.
Wow.
Um,
Oh my gosh.
And that's crazy. I hadn't thought about that in years. I mean, man, 2003. That was 23 freaking years ago now. That's insane.
Oof. That's a strange thing to happen. It's not often you get like a paranormal hitchhiker. So that's.
You were asking if we had done anything with like Ouija boards or anything like that. We didn't, but we were very adventurous in our teenage years. We did a lot of going to cemeteries, going to abandoned houses, doing a lot of illegal shit, and just
as you do,
just for fun, just trying to do something scary. And I mean, easily we could have messed up in some way, or I don't know. We did a lot of stupid stuff when we were kids.
Growing up in a small town, you don't have a lot to do. We didn't even have a red light in the town we grew up in, man.
Oh, nice.
This is before social media and all that stuff, and we would go down to the cemetery at night. We'd walk down the railroad tracks. We'd go find the old abandoned houses and go crawl through them and see if we could find anything interesting.
There's a large antebellum home that it was built in what 1800s.
1847, I think. It was the first doctor in this county.
He was the first doctor in the county where we grew up, and his wife, supposedly their children died of tuberculosis, and then she hung herself in the house.
That was post Civil War.
We loved hanging out in the house. We went there all the time, and it was very, very haunted. And the lady that lived behind it, she said she heard stuff all the time, and she was very familiar with the ghosts that lived there and stuff. We went there like kind of ghost hunting one night, and we had like a tape recorder, and we put it in the house, and we went outside and then went back in and got the tape recorder, and like we heard voices and stuff. We heard a lady yelling on one side of the house, and then a man on the other side of the house responding to her.
Oh wow.
But we couldn't understand what they were saying, but we did stuff like that all the time. I mean, like, we may have brought a lot of this stuff on ourselves. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Well, I think too, like going out and like searching for that stuff probably opens you up a little bit more too. I imagine. Yeah.
So funny talking about that. So I found out a little bit of history about that house. They were living there at the time of that house of the Civil War, and he was the first doctor in the county, and he would ride horseback to all his patients. And there's a story that he was gone tending to some sick people when Sherman's army came through Georgia, and everybody's got a Sherman's army story about the Civil War. That's just a Georgia thing, The story was that two cavalry, horse riders came up to the house, and she met him at the door with a shotgun. And they said, "Oh, okay, but don't worry, we'll be back." So they left, and when it was dark, they came back, and they fired into the window, and they hit a brass candlestick, which it fell and hit the ground, and she thought it was one of her kids that had gotten shot because it made a loud, racket. So she ran in there and realized it was a brass candlestick that had been shot by one of the soldiers. That house has a lot of interesting history as well. The children died. It was either tuberculosis or yellow fever. I can't remember. I think it might have been.
Yeah, they died of something. Yeah.
I think it was yellow fever because that was there was a big epidemic in the South during that time. So that house had a lot of sorrow and heartbreak too. I'm sure, being from 1847.
Okay, guys, I got to be honest. This was a lot more than I anticipated. This is great.
We've had some experiences, dude.
Apparently, yeah.
I mean, I had experiences as a child too, growing up in the house. But just like hearing and smelling stuff, or like I woke up a few times with my bed shaking like I was in an earthquake, and then I just closed my eyes and pretend like it wasn't happening. That's what I was talking about. Pretend like it's not real, and then it goes away, and that's what happened. And
you guys, and you're pretending it's not happening. I don't know. I don't know if it's working. But
apparently not.
And I just have to ask on that point: Robert, did you feel anything like that ever, or was it just like an isolated incident to Ryan that?
The only thing I ever experienced like that I didn't see was I felt like somebody sat on the end of my bed one night.
God, it's the worst.
And
did you see like an indentation or anything?
Honestly, I don't remember. I just feel like I felt my legs, my feet kind of dip down a bit when the weight touched the bed.
Damn.
So yeah, I didn't see anything, but I could definitely feel it in the sensation. And kind of like him, I was like, okay. I turned around and rolled over and tried to go back to sleep.
Yep. just forget about it. Didn't happen.
Not real. It's not
Yep.
real.
Oh yeah. And then another kind of current story. So this one's a little bit different. I worked at a firehouse, and this was in a college town north of where I live. At a firehouse, it was the oldest one in the city. It was reportedly really haunted. And I remember I was sleeping, and the bunk room was upstairs, and it's kind of like an army barracks. You know, there's bunks just down the walls, and each bunk had a chair next to it. So you take your pants off, lay your pants on there, where you can jump into them real quick and go.
Mhm.
I was there one night, and I remember the guys were laughing about the ghost, talking about all this stuff, and I was like, "Oh yeah, cool, whatever." I'm laying there, and I wake up because I hear the chair creak. The chair kind of slides a little bit. I watch the chair move, and I was like, "Oh, this has got to be one of these guys messing with me." So I didn't say anything because I didn't want to give them any ammunition to mess with me.
Yeah.
So I was like, whatever. So I rolled everyone back to sleep. But yeah, I noticed that before, and that was a creepy place to spend the night.
I know, like, you didn't want the guys to like razz you, but like, were there other people in that firehouse who were like, yeah, I've seen some shit?
Oh yeah. So in the bathroom upstairs, the sinks would turn on with no one in there.
Okay. Like full blast.
Yeah, like the water would just start running. And there's guys that talked about, so there was a little small door, but you go out to go to the brass pole to slide down.
Mm-hmm.
They would hear people or something open that door and close that door.
Oh wow.
Occasionally. They didn't like to talk about it because, you know, the fire department was a pretty rough crowd.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But one-on-one, some of the guys would be willing to share the stories and tell some stuff, and you know.
Sure. That's good. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, like, you can be as tough as you want, but you know, if you've seen something pretty freaking terrifying, like, you want to tell someone about it. So
Oh yeah,
that's good. They opened up.
Oh yeah.
Ryan, do you want to dig into anything at your current house?
Yeah. The house was built in '64, and my wife bought it as a foreclosure in 2008. You know, when the housing market dropped out. Her parents helped her while she was in college, so she had somewhere to stay and have roommates and stuff and make money that way and pay for it. And she was always really a skeptic. She never really experienced anything other than hearing stuff on the stairs. It sounded like someone going up and down the stairs or something like that.
Yep.
But her roommates, all her roommates, pretty much all of them experienced some pretty intense stuff. They would hear people running up and down the stairs, and then they would go look and there's nobody there, or they would be alone at home and she's gone, she's at school or work or whatever, and they're there. She rented out 2 different rooms at once usually, so she had like 2 roommates. And at this point, I think she had one roommate downstairs, and they on multiple occasions they heard it sounded like someone was upstairs moving all the furniture, like, I mean, loud, like moving the sofa, moving the table, like, I mean, extremely loud. And then they go up there and everything's fine and nothing's moved around and nobody's there.
That's wild. That's very interesting, given, like, you know, the intense noise of it all. You'd think something would be amiss.
Yeah. Even after I'd moved in there and I was at work or something, we had a roommate there, and she went upstairs because she heard the same thing and thought I came in and was like moving all the furniture around. And she's like, "What is Ryan doing?" And she goes upstairs and I'm not there. No one's there.
Yeah.
And everything's fine. And she's like, what in the world? Like, I mean, it happened multiple occasions with multiple roommates like that same experience for some reason.
That's crazy. Would it last for, like, I'm assuming extended amounts of time? It wasn't for just like a minute, or was it like a quick?
Yeah, it's for a few minutes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
That's crazy.
And you can imagine how loud that has to sound, you know, because they're thinking they're moving the dining room table and the sofa and stuff.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm envisioning like a couch being moved, moving across the floor. Yeah, that's nuts.
And then we had another roommate at one point. They were very much a skeptic. They were home alone, sitting on the couch with their dog, and they heard something in the dining room, and then they look over at the dining room table. The dog looks too. Dog's ears go up, the dog looks, and then they look, and then all of a sudden there's a leather purse on the table, and it jumps into the air. They see it fly through the air and land multiple feet away. And they're like, "What the fuck just happened? What the fuck?"
Understandably so. Yeah.
Yeah. And then my brother-in-law, him and a close family friend were staying over, and they stayed over, and we went to work, and they were still there asleep because drinking, you know, we'd been drinking, like they were sleeping it off.
Yeah.
And they'd woken up and watched TV and stuff, and they heard someone come up the stairs, and they're like, "There's nobody here. It's just us." My brother-in-law and my friend look, and there's nobody on the stairs, and then all of a sudden we had a vintage like window. Like my wife loves windows, like old windows from like barns and stuff like that. So she had one attached to the wall, and it was attached really good. It wasn't just like barely up there,
Yeah.
and it fell all the way down and shattered as soon as they looked over.
Oh, wow.
And they were like, "What? What?"
So it would have taken some sort of force to really get that thing off the wall.
Oh yeah, yeah. And then there was before I lived there was a glass dining room table. It was butted up against the wall and then sticking long ways away from the wall, and there was a shelf right above it with a vase on it, and that vase jumped off the shelf and hit the other end of the table,
Oh, geez.
long ways, and broke the corner off of it.
Wow.
Yeah, my wife was like, I don't know how that happened, and I'm like, a ghost? I mean, like, what else?
Let's call it what it is. Woman.
What causes something like that?
And she's still a skeptic after all this?
She just never experienced anything personally, so she wasn't. I mean, I wouldn't say she's a skeptic, she's not anymore, but
good for her, I guess. Just pushing it all to the side.
It's not real.
Yeah, nothing happened.
I had never seen a ghost. Like I said, I'd never seen a physical,
like full body
entity
apparition.
or any kind of entity or whatever. I felt stuff, smelled stuff, heard stuff, but I'd never seen anything until I lived in my current house. And I've always worked nights. Like I'm working right now. Like I'm sitting in this truck because I'm a security guard and I'm working all night long. So I'm used to it. I used to stay up all night long before I'd go to work. So I would, have the energy to work that night and stay up all night at work.
Yep.
So one night I was staying up playing video games in the media room, and there's like a little like bar window in between my media room and like a mud room, and it's got like shuttered windows. Or shutters. It's got little shutters like you would have on a house, and they can open up or whatever. And it's like a little bar window or like pass through window where you pass food through or something.
Mm-hmm.
And the shutters were open, and I heard something, and I stopped the video game and I looked because I saw something in my peripheral. And as I turned, I see a guy walk by. I was like, "What the fuck?" And I got a weapon and I cleared the entire fucking house. I cleared every fucking closet, under every bed, everything. Like my wife was asleep, like the animals were asleep. No one else was in the house. Not one person other than me and her, and she was asleep.
Were there any discernible like things you could tell about
it was just a man. That's all I know. It was a man, and it was dark in the room, in the mud room. Like my room was lit up a little bit with the TV, and like I had one light on, but like in there it was dark, so but I could clearly see it was a man. It was like a side profile of a man walking by. I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
I'd never seen anything other than that. That scared the shit out of me, man. Oh. I cleared the whole house. I was like, "Is there somebody living in here, like hiding in the walls?"
That is a fair reaction to have. I'll be honest.
Yeah. I was completely freaked the fuck out. I don't know how I slept that night.
That's fair.
I don't even know if I did, or once I went to bed.
Yeah, I mean, I will say the one big experience I ever had in my life, I was actually in a hotel room in Spain by myself. I saw a female figure appear by the side of my bed, and I checked. I kind of pulled a U. I didn't have a weapon, but I got up. I turned all the lights on. I checked the entire place. This girl was gone, and I just got back in bed and went back to sleep. I was like, well, that happened.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I guess that's all you can do in those situations, I guess.
Definitely.
One thing that's been experienced in my current house is pipe smoke. We can smell pipe smoke.
Oh, really? I was going to ask, is there any history to the house that you know of deaths or anything like that?
My wife looked it up, and there was someone that lived there that probably died there, but she never saved all the information. She said she wished she had. When I told her we were going to do this, she was like, "I wish I'd have saved that information." I can't remember.
Oh yeah.
Some man. But we're convinced that's who it was. Like older. He was old, when
probably never built the house.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if it's those older houses, there's always something. And that is going to do it for Ryan and Robert's time here on The Grave. I think we can all agree they have certainly seen some shit, and the image I have created in my mind of the man in Robert's bedroom is pure nightmare fuel and may never leave my mind. Honestly, I don't know how Ryan lives in a haunted house, but apart from him pulling a gun on a ghost, he seems to be okay with it, so Godspeed. I want to thank both Ryan and Robert for taking the time to come on the show, and I really had a great time chatting with both of them. Now, this is where I usually tell you who will be up next week, but at the moment, that could be any one of 3 people I have lined up. So I hope you like surprises, because that's what next week's guest is going to be. So stay tuned for that, and as always, folks, thanks for listening, and I hope to have you all back for some more scary stories.